One of the most common questions I get asked from vacation renters who are renting a condo is what it actually looks like to purchase a condo. So if you guys are following any of our content, last week's video was all about the 29 different things you need to know before buying a condo here along the Emerald Coast. And today we're going to give you a live example. We're going to walk through it together, a little bit analytical here, so bear with us. But we're going to walk through all of the numbers so that you know exactly what it looks like to purchase a condo and then what to watch out for. Let's get into it. What is going on? This is Andrew with the Emerald Group right here along the Emerald Coast. We are your local real estate agents helping the entire Emerald Coast from Pensacola to Panama City and everything in between. So if that sounds like you and you're trying to figure out everything there is to know, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time we do a new video. We are also getting a lot of calls, texts, and emails of people looking to move to this area. So all of our information is on the screen if that sounds like you. Now let's jump right into the content. I'm very excited to bring you guys an actual example of a real condo here in the area. We're going to break down all of the fees that we were able to pick out and find so that you can make an educated decision whenever you're thinking about buying a condo down here. So what we are breaking down here is a condo in Edgewater Beach out here in Miramar. This is actually one of our listings. It is currently listed for $519,500, and that is as of October of 2021. So very likely this is already gone by the time you're seeing it, but we did want to give you a full breakdown of all of the costs so that you can see it, so that if you are running any of your own numbers, if for some reason your real estate professional is not helping you with that, then you've got all of that ammo in your hip pocket so that you know exactly what to look for. So this particular one is a one bed, one bath, 936 square feet right on the water. Beautiful complex, absolutely beautiful complex. There's a lot of stuff to that, but that's not really important for this particular video. This is mainly about the numbers and breaking down everything. So we look here in the documents, we've got the rental history here. This one right now so far is grossing about $47,000. It's actually a little bit more than that. We had some more bookings happen, and there's probably will still be a little bit more as well. So right now, as of 2021, we're expecting approximately just shy of $50,000. And again, it'll probably creep up a little bit north of that, but we're not certain of that, so I wanted to give you as realistic numbers as possible. Then you've got all the different cost to own breakdowns here that I'm going to transfer over into our Excel spreadsheet here in just a second and go from there. All right, let's go ahead and pull that up. So this is our sheet here that's going to show all the different expenses we might have. So if you guys did not catch the last video, it was very in-depth on all of these minor nuances that I'm probably going to talk about, or that I will be talking about here in this video. So make sure you go back and watch that. It'll be up in the cards right now. So if you want to click on that or right click on it, open in a new tab, or it will be down in the comment section or the remark section down below. It's very important you guys watch that if you are seriously considering a condo, because that's got just about everything that I can think of that you need to know about in order to make an educated decision on your purchase. Okay, so Edgewater 705, we're looking at the main expenses, which is the mortgage. Now this is based on a $520,000 purchase price, which is, I know, $500 more than the list price, but just round numbers. 20% down at 4.25 interest rate. Again, with the last video, if you saw that, sometimes you'll have to pay more than 20% down, depending on the type of loan that you're getting, the lender that you're using. There's a lot that kind of goes on there. And this interest rate is going to change all the time. This is just one example. Obviously, you would need to plug and play your numbers there. So when entering this into our calculators, we've got a total of $2,046 monthly expense. That was supposed to go annually for me, but I guess it's not going to. That's nice. I'll just add that in. Come on. All right. I need to do this on H5. So there we go. It's a total of $24,552 in just estimated mortgage. Of course, again, all of this stuff can change. Then you've got your association dues, which for this particular unit is $688.55. So if you recall from the last video, I mentioned that all the HOA fees are going to be different. And they're even different inside of our own area here along the Emerald Coast. So you'll have more in certain areas and less in certain areas. And then it also depends on the size of the condo, the amount of amenities. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Are they building the reserves up because they're expecting to pay for something big later? So a lot of that goes into it. So just note that these are always going to be flexing and changing. So then you've got your insurance, which is typically an HO3 policy, which is essentially renter's insurance because the building is normally covered in most HOAs. Now in this one, we're giving this one the exact numbers of what we already know this exists, and they are currently paying $1,100 in fees. And I bet if we shopped around, we could probably get that down to about $700, but let's just use a safe number, $1,100. And then taxes in 2020 were $2571.63. This number is going to go up when it gets purchased. I just don't have the exact number it's going to go up, so just to be safe, I'm using the old number. So keep that in mind, that might go to $2,800, $2,700, something like that. It might even be more than that. It's all going to kind of depend on when the condo sells and the new purchase price. And one thing I do want to go back on real quick because I did not touch on it. I, of course, typed it all out and forgot to mention it. In this particular complex, this association dues is $688 is covering your accounting. That's for the actual accounting of the all the funds, all the groundskeeping, the pools, the lawns, like everything that they need for that. The building insurance, so that's your wind, your flood, and all of that great stuff. The legal, the management of everything, the actual HOA management. The recreation facilities, that's everything else that's on the property as well. The security, sewer, trash, and water. So as you notice, part of your association generally covers sewer, trash, and water. This is very common in our area. In fact, generally, the only time I don't see them paying for this stuff is in a really, really small complex where they can actually have water meters. But even then, they generally pay for your sewer and your trash. Now let's get into all of the utilities and the extra expenses that we were able to dig up. So in this one, the average electric bill is floating somewhere between $25 and $125 a month. That's fairly low, but it is a one bedroom, 900 square foot. Keep in mind, it may seem high to you when you're thinking about those numbers. That is because it is a vacation condo, and tenants, or vacation renters rather, have a tendency of cranking that AC down because they're out in the sun. When they come back in, they want to cool down very quickly, so that's very common. So we're going to do an average of $75 a month. Your cable TV, all of that is a total of $580.20. Let's see here. Thought I moved that in the wrong spot for a second. Your water bill is covered. There's no pool service on this one, or no beach service either. Let's see. The deep clean is going to be about $120 per year. You're generally going to have to do one of those every single year. Even though they're constantly cleaning it, you're still going to need the deep clean to get the baseboards and the corners and just all the little nuances that they don't normally hit in your weekly cleanings. Then your maintenance, I estimate fairly high on maintenance. I expect anywhere from about 50 to 60 bucks per month. And this is just for the leaky toilets and this and that. Now, I'm putting this one in this form, but they actually have on-site management and on-site maintenance guys that are going to make this a lot cheaper all in all. But let's just pretend that you're getting about $600 a year. That's a toilet every 2 or 3 years that you've got to replace, maybe 4 years, whatever that math adds up to. But this is just kind of a good average. It's probably not going to be that high, but you just never know. And then you've got replacements. I do this at $65 per year. I should probably creep that number up a little bit, but this is for things like pots and pans, silverware, knives. These things get stolen. They get taken out to the beach. The amount of times I see a pot or a pan being used as a sandcastle builder out at the beach is pretty common. I'm not going to say it happens every time I go to the beach, but at least once or twice a year I see that, and I know exactly where they got that stuff. So this is why you've got replacement costs for this stuff. You'll generally have to get silverware every year, sometimes pots and pans. Sometimes the management pays for this. In these particular condos, I wasn't 100% sure, so just better safe to put it in there, and then this way we know it's covered. And this can also cover some of your linens, depending on your management company. Some of the linens, most of the linens are included in most management companies. However, not on all of them. So keep in mind you might have to raise the number on your replacements if you're the one replacing your linens, and especially if you're self-managing the property. Now let's get into all the miscellaneous fees. Are $850 $850.52 for the year. What this is covering is this is supposed to say planter, your planter box service. So in this particular condo complex, there are planters outside of every single condo. These beautiful foliage, I guess. It's really hard to describe exactly what they are. They kind of lean over the fence. I mean, the balcony there. Then you've got air conditioning service that they require every year. Your telephone, they do require that everybody has a landline, and this is for emergency purposes. I think they use it more as a, I forgot what it's called, where it radiates through the entire building if they need to tell everybody to evacuate for a fire or something like that. Then the Kaba lock, this is a lock that's on the front door so that if you're vacation renting this property out, they can give what's called one-shot codes or full-time codes for the week to the renters. So whenever they come in, let's say on a Saturday, they get a code, they memorize it, they keep this little number inside of their wallet, wherever they need to keep it, and then that's the code they use to get in. Then if for any reason it locks themselves out, or if a real estate agent is showing it, or somebody that just needs to pop in there one time, they'll give you a one-time code. It works. After that, when it locks, that code number works again. Anyway, these things are great. They're very common on a lot of our condos out here, so it is something that you'll probably see if you are condo shopping. And then they've got a fitness center at $100 a month, and all of that total for the year is $850.52. Now, the rental management fee, this particular one is 25%. A lot of them are 25%, but I've seen them range from 10% to 35%. The more you pay, typically, the more you get out of it. So if you're paying 10%, you might not be paying the cleaning fees, or they might not be paying the cleaning fees for you. The Airbnb fees, VRBO fees, all of these places charge as well. It just kind of matters on who you're using to manage the property. Now, most of the time, 25 is a pretty safe number. That's the most common that we see out here. So we're going to need to add the annual rental projection. As I mentioned before, it was, let's see, we'll pull it back up here, $49,883 as of right now that we know. I know this says projection. In this particular case, we know where it's at. It's already paid out about $42,000, $43,000 of this, and the rest are still renting the property out, or renting the condo out. So let's put that in here. As soon as that happens, it was supposed to take my percentage here, but apparently it moved on me. There we go. So your rental management fee is going to be about $12,470 of it. That is a big, big chunk. So this is why a lot of people tend to want to vacation rental their own property out. All right, we are back. I had to fix something in here that I messed up. So that's going to leave your approximate annual expenses at $52,000. That's going to include your rental management fee, all of these other fees to include your mortgage, taxes, insurance, association dues, and all of that good stuff, for a total of a loss currently at $2,189. Now, if they get snowbirds in here or a couple more rentals, that can knock that number right out, and it could be kind of break even. So a lot of people ask us, well, if this is the case, after we run the numbers with them, they'll ask, like, this is the case, then why am I going to buy a vacation condo? Well, it kind of depends. So a lot of times what we tell people is if you're looking for pure investment, you're not going to touch this condo. You don't care about it. There's a couple of different routes you can go there. You can look at vacation homes is one option. And you can look at vacation condos and compare the two, but find the cash cows. Those are the ones that are renting out a heck of a lot more. There's certain buildings that do it a little bit better than others. And there are some little hidden gems. Just like with any investment, there's going to be better ones than worse ones. This is kind of a run-of-the-mill normal example. It's a good rental in a fantastic building, but this is how a lot of them are going to look. Where your big advantages are is if you're vacationing to these condos every single year or twice a year. So you rent out a place for a week, that costs you $6,000. That's eliminated because now you're going to rent from your own. There's going to be a little cost differential there because you're going to lose those rental days, especially if you're doing it in the heat of the season, of the vacation rental season. You're going to lose that from somebody else purchasing it, right? But overall, it's going to cost you a little bit less than it would to rent somebody else's unit because it's yours. You own this. And then, of course, you've also got a lot of tax implications that could possibly benefit from this. This is not tax advice. You need to talk to a CPA. But from what we have heard, you can typically write off so many owner days, and that all of your expenses, your lodging, everything, your lodging meaning you staying in your own place, can all be possibly tax writable. Now, again, you need to talk to your CPA. We're not allowed to give tax advice here, but that is one of the big advantages, because if you are saving that much money, and let's say it saves you $8,000 a year that you would generally spend on your vacation anyway, and you're doing that twice, that's where the big savings are going to be. So you've got to look at the overall picture. Then, of course, you've got building equity, and condos tend to rise fairly well with the market. And if it's just paying for itself, it's not really costing you anything, but you get a free vacation out of it. Even if you're just driving down here, you don't have to worry about flight expenses, all that great stuff. You come down here, you paint a wall, you replace a piece of furniture or something, so that you can use this as a potential tax diversion or what have you to benefit you, then that's even better. And if not, it just breaks even, and then you're just going along with standard inflation and, of course, whatever price changes there are. And of course, that comes with its inherent risk as well, because if the prices go down, then obviously your condo investment goes down. But for the most part, these are generally better for people that will be visiting them, especially if you want to visit more than once, or if you want to snowbird in this thing and be there 3-4 months out of the year. But there's a lot of different considerations with that. So whenever you are looking at buying a condo, whether it's here along the Emerald Coast or anywhere in Florida, or probably the country, make sure that you've got a realtor that knows what they're doing. That's very important, and that is able to dig up these numbers so that you can have the best option sitting in front of you as possible. And if you are looking for just raw investment for these vacation condos, you never plan on touching it, there are options for that too. It might take you a little bit longer. And of course, this is in all different price ranges as well. So I know we showed a $500,000 here. You can get condos out here for under $100,000. And of course, that's going to determine, or that's going to dictate on where you're at. Location is going to be the biggest variation in that price. And it's going to span all over. So if you're looking at Destin as a whole, actually, really, you want to take it even a step further, go all the way to kind of Fort Walton Beach is kind of the center ground. As you go further out from that, it's going to get a little bit more expensive on either side, whereas in Destin and then everything heading east all the way to right before you get to Panama City Beach, typically the prices start going up just a little bit as you go. But then you've got a lot of options as you go out there, because 30A, if you guys are watching any of the videos on this channel, we've got a lot of videos on 30A. The personalities are completely different, so you can really tailor whatever type of situation and lifestyle you want to exactly what you're buying. So at the end of the day, I hope this was very helpful in showing you guys an actual breakdown of all of the costs, all the fees, everything that you need to know. We can do this for you guys. Keep in mind, we are a real estate company first. I know I'm always saying that, but if you guys are thinking about purchasing condos out here, vacation homes, really anything along the Emerald Coast, we can definitely help you. We've got specialists for absolutely everything. So if you need a condo specialist, we've got it for you. But you need to give us a call, text, or email, or send a carrier pigeon, and we'll get you helped. Anyway, if you guys have visited, put a comment down below. We would love to hear about your experience, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. See ya.